All right, well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Firelink, episode number 31. My name is Nick Langer, the editor-in-chief of Second Wind, joined by Casey Wosu. And today,
Hi.
it's another day of layoffs. How many podcasts have we started off this year with that?
Yeah, it's kind of a running theme.
Many. And if Marty was here, Marty's down with the Rona, so he won't be here today. But if Marty was here, he'd be like, I don't want to talk about this. We've talked about this too many times.
Which is fair. Like it's
Nobody
exhausting.
wants to talk about this.
It's an exhausting topic that, frankly, yeah, like we'll probably be talking about this again in the future at some point.
Yeah.
But this one I think is a little notable for a couple of reasons. It's Bungie, and Bungie's owned by Sony. And last week we were talking about unions, and we specifically named Sony as one of the companies whose devs could use one of these. So it does seem pretty timely.
And what was it? What was it? Bungie said 2 years ago there won't be layoffs and restructuring with the Sony acquisition, and they've had 2 rounds of layoffs now. Yes, I was distracted because I guess a really bad storm just came through Nebraska, and one of our big trees in our yard fell. I don't know if you can see.
Like just now?
Yeah, not in my house, my parents' house.
Oh,
but big tree went down. I guess we're supposed to get severe storms tonight too. So I was like, oh shit. I thought my dad forgot to send me the picture because he said this just happened, and then the picture didn't show for like 5 minutes, and I was like, did you forget that, Dad? But yes, we will be discussing the really bad layoffs at Bungie. Almost 40% of that studio has pretty much been let go or moved within the last year and a half. And then we'll be talking about, well, that's our main topic tonight, but we'll also be talking about the Palworld community manager, who's been in the news a few times for their opinions, but this time it's one that's a good one, about dead game fixation is ruining the games industry, which I agree with. I think that fixation on a dead game is real dumb, and we need to stop it.
It's in line with one of Frost's recent videos, actually, in terms of like the player count numbers thing. So, yeah.
And then, of course, a game that really is a dead game, Suicide Squad, came out with season 2, and is still not doing well. And I'm very curious of what's going on with Rocksteady over there in Warner Bros. And lastly, another dead thing. I guess it's the Xbox 360 store is officially done and gone.
Yeah, that closed earlier this week.
Which I know people are slightly upset about, but I haven't. Well, I don't even own a 360 anymore, so I don't know who's using the store. But so be it.
This is. We'll get to it. Do we want to start there or?
I think we can, but yes, this Drago's asking, where's Marty? Marty is out sick this week with COVID. A bunch of other people are busy at Second Wind today, so it's just Casey and I today. So we're going to keep this one relatively short, or we'll see. Casey and I will get into a brawl and argue for 2 hours about stuff. But I
vehemently like vintage cars.
Shit, get out of here! you and your stock can fuck off. Let's talk about this Palworld community manager story first. So, because I think that kind of leads us into the larger discussion about live service and just what the fuck does success even mean in the games industry at this point. Because that's a conversation I feel like we've had a couple times, but I mean, I don't know. You look at Destiny 2 and their most recent expansion and the super good high praise behind it. It sold really well, and what's the reward for it? Layoffs. So. Palworld's community manager, this article's from PC Gamer. Palworld's community manager says our dead game fixation is ruining gaming. I don't think it really serves anyone to push gamers to play the same game day in and day out. So one of the media's fixation on dead games kind of is the clickbait story of this generation, I would say. And it kind of ties in with live service games a lot, where basically games like Palworld or Helldivers or V-Rising or whatever it is come out.
Just kind of any new thing, really.
Just really, well, they come out, get major player count numbers because everybody's like, this is the hype new thing. And then after a week or two, 60-70% of the people drop off and go move on to the next game because we're getting new games all the time. And the media and social media and all that kind of take that and say, oh, this game lost 80% of its players over the last 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever time frame it's been, and it's basically the Power World community manager saying like, yeah, that's normal. Like people play a game for a couple weeks and then move on. I mean, look how many games are released every year and every week at this point.
Yeah, like that's a normal trait of kind of video game ebb and flow. The fact that most games, well, I want to say like I'll back in my day, right? Most games weren't like so multiplayer focused. They strictly had either single player or local multiplayer like priorities, and then like online multiplayer was kind of a more new burgeoning thing. So yeah, like people just played games differently. Like that has changed today. Whereas the biggest games kind of consistently across the board are big live service multiplayer games. And so I want to say like a great majority of probably the video game playing populace are probably made up of those folks who just play those big live service games. So like we here kind of specialize, exactly. Like we here specialize in video games of all types. So like we kind of can see both sides of this, but most true to life gamers, like I know some folks like to try to divide themselves one way or another way, but like most people who play video games probably only see it through that lens. And so they don't really have the frame of reference for walking away from a video game for a time. And that's new. Like that's a new thing. So I want to say it's possible that some of these, because you're right, the media, as well as like folks on social media are super guilty of these sort of baity headlines that kind of sell doom and gloom when they just watch a player count drop after a couple of weeks following release. But maybe they just don't know. Like I'm wondering if it's the case where like they do think that that's a problem, like legitimately, and that they're not, signaling something that they don't actually believe in. Like they might just have a fully different perspective, which is kind of sad because I don't think the landscape of gaming has changed so much that still holds water. Like maybe for a live service game, yes, but like they were doing, like we saw headlines like this for Elden Ring, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, a lot of this started because like Skyrim just never dropped its player count as a single player game. There were hundreds of thousands. There's like 100,000 people playing that forever, and I remember stories starting to come out about like, man, when are people just going to stop playing Skyrim? And it's like, well, it's a forever game because it's got the modding community behind it. There's always something new.
Right, that's a huge part of it.
But the stories and all that are kind of whatever to me. What's I think getting into a lot of developers' heads is like that they have to keep working on their games. And this is a conversation I had with Yahtzee too, where he's like, he even feels the pull to keep updating Starstruck Vagabond now, and it feels like it's even, not just multiplayer.
Even the single player stuff. Yeah,
it's like how many? I can't. It feels like most single player games have a roadmap that they launch with now too, and it's weird. Like I'm like, great. Like you want to keep supporting the game, but like, how many people are actually going to play all those updates that you're doing at some point? Like,
that would be the dream, but like, there's way too many options. There's just not enough bandwidth for people to stick with something that long, and the ones who get away with it are breaking the mold in that way, and like kind of spoiling it for everybody else almost.
Yeah, and Cody in chat asked a good question, like where I don't think there is. It almost doesn't feel like there is a line anymore. It's like, where's the line between DLC and an update? And a DLC to me these days is basically a major expansion, like Shadow of the Erdtree. And like updates, free updates are new content, which used to be expansions. So it's like, it just kind of ties into the layoffs with Destiny's story or Bungie's story. Is like these games are expected to be worked on until you're done. Like, when are you done? When the money dries up and then the layoffs happen, right? Like, I just. Power World. Yeah. The stories about Power World, like dropping player count, it was like there's a finite amount of content in that game. You do the survival.
Yeah, the game's not even finished.
Yeah, it's not done.
It's not even finished.
So yeah, it's like a lot of those stories are like, well, no shit, the numbers dropped. It's like people got through the finite content, moved on, and like I don't know, like just the way it's one of the most like critical things I've been of the media, especially games media, like writing these stories. It's just like, this is normal, and that's kind of what this community manager is saying. I mean, we explained that when we started this conversation, but like, player drop off is normal, and not every game needs to be your forever game. And like, so many developers are trying to make their game the forever game, whether it's adding a new game plus or roguelite mechanics or whatever. They want to keep you there, but
yeah,
unless you're a live service game, like, and driving whales to microtransactions, like, you don't need to.
And the thing is, because a lot of big companies are still chasing that goalpost. Like, we've seen Sony announce 11. Like, they were so gung ho. They're like, hey, one of these is gonna hit, right? And like, since then they've canceled a bunch, and the one that seems like it's gonna see the light of day kind of is already feeling a little dead on arrival based on like how they've planned to release it, just regardless of its quality. Like, I've not gotten a chance to check it out, but I've heard good things about its quality. But it just seems the audience isn't there because they have other options. Like, it's too similar to other stuff that's out there. So like,
that's why I'm really sad that like New World Interactive basically essentially got shuttered. They're the developers of the Insurgency series,
right?
So they were independent until they got bought up by Embracer. And when they were independent, they had like an average daily player count of like 5,000 to 8,000 people. And when I went and shot that documentary, I kind of asked about that, like, is that a good player count? And like, they're like, yeah, like that means 5,000 to 8,000 people are always playing our game. That's a lot of people. So they can fill lobbies, and people are continuing to play it and spending a little bit of money. And then as soon as they went to Embracer, that wasn't enough, and then now they're gone, right? And it's like,
yeah,
the only companies that care about keeping those massive player counts are, one, if you're running a live service game and you need to keep the microtransactions flowing to keep that game online. And how many of those have we seen close? Rocket Arena, Knockout City, even some of those were owned by the bigger companies.
Spellbreak.
But, yeah, Insurgency's case, like, Insurgency's still online. New World isn't really running it. They've apparently like shopped out the development of it to like third-party contractors at this point. But like New World as it was is gone. So it's just, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, keep your game online until you can't anymore, and then what do you do after that? You've sunk all this money into it.
Yeah, so because like, yeah, like, and when we come and we talk about these sorts of things, like, it is a fixation because on some level there is truth to it. Like, when clearly the goal for a lot of these companies is to make a live service game which joins the pantheon of the other big ones, and they fall short, like that, a lot of times they very publicly basically say, like, this is going to be a Call of Duty killer or a Apex fighter or whatever, and it comes out and then it's easy to mock because, like, no, you didn't do this lofty goal that you achieved. Is the answer then to just not make any more of those games? There's like, all right, well, we have our kings and queens sitting at the top. The players have chosen what they want to play. Everyone else do something else. Like, is that a solution? Because
I think we're about
you could have made that argument until before Apex launched and kind of ate a lot of Call of Duty's share.
I think we're about to see that question in real time with Concord. Because it's a premium competitive game. And when's the last time we've got like a non-free-to-play competitive multiplayer shooter? It hasn't happened.
It's been
in a
minute.
Time.
Yeah, it's been a
Overwatch 2 is free. I guess Call of Duty multiplayer, but let's focus on a new franchise trying it.
Yeah, that Foam Stars game came out recently, but that was technically well, it wasn't free to play. It was like subscription tied, right? Like you could only get it on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
So like that was close, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's everybody's kind of look at the Steam player count numbers for Concord. The beta didn't do the numbers that it should have, for sure. And I guess like Sony's about to find out, like, can a premium competitive multiplayer FPS that's not free to play make its money back or even survive in today's market? And they've already said there's no battle pass or anything. They're just going to release content updates for free. So they're not looking to make endless money with it. They're looking to sell it to you once and then update it to keep people there. I don't know if they're going to.
So how are they going to pay for that tail end? Like, is there?
I don't know.
Because like keeping the servers up and like paying the devs to keep making new content like that. Do they expect to keep selling copies?
I don't know. I like it's word of mouth is going to sell that game or nothing will. And so far, the word of mouth is caught up in culture war garbage and whatever. So this is going to be a really, really interesting release for that game.
And so essentially, if this game does not do well, that's kind of a siren call for everyone to just stop. They're like, all right, this doesn't work anymore. Let's not try.
I don't agree. No, maybe not that, because I mean, like, I'm thinking back a little bit, because I said when was the last like competitive non-free to play FPS, and I guess Gray Zone Warfare is kind of in the middle there, because it's an extraction PvE PvEVP PvEVP. And that sold extremely well. Tarkov sells very well, and it's a premium FPS. So like I don't know. Maybe it's just a hero shooter genre. Maybe it's something. It's I kind of said like I don't want to. I don't envy being in Firewalk's position with Concord right now, because you're like, people don't want free to play shooters, but they also don't want to pay for a premium shooter where you have to pay for the DLC. So like, where is the middle ground on all this?
Yeah, no one's ever happy. That's the thing, because that's the thing. It's always different groups who start yelling at you whenever you do a thing. Like the people who are happy stay quiet, and maybe that's on us. Maybe speak up a little bit more when you like something, so folks know what you like. But I guess just buying it also helps as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the Concord is according to social media a dead game already before it's even launched, and I don't, that kind of word of mouth can definitely hurt a game. But
yeah, that stink on it is definitely gonna shoo a bunch of people away. Like they won't even bother giving it a try, because it costs money up front.
But it's also not free to play, and they're not like looking to make money from continuous microtransactions. So like, does it matter if it does 100,000 players? What if it is just like Insurgency, and it's a premium game that you pay for once, and it's got concurrent players of 5,000 to 8,000 daily? Is that successful now? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that goes to the Bungie topic, is that like literally nothing is a metric for success. Like it doesn't matter what you do.
Yes. So a similar game in a similar boat to Concord, kind of, is the Suicide Squad game, which just got its Season 2 update for the.
So
Dr.
clearly not dead. The game is alive and kicking.
Well, they said they were going to finish out what they promised, which was 4 season updates.
So which one is this? The second one?
This is 2. This is the second one. Okay. Yep. And I guess the player count on Steam didn't even surpass like 700 people, which no surprise there. I don't think there's anything that's going to draw people back to that Suicide Squad game at this point. And
yeah.
Great, you're following through on what you promised, on what you sold, which is more than you can say for a lot of other companies that have sold service games and not even followed through.
This is currently on Game Pass at the moment as well, though, right?
Suicide Squad? I don't think.
I think it is. No, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're wrong. Suicide Squad on Game Pass.
Maybe I'm thinking of Gotham Knights.
No. Gotham Knights was on Game Pass. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Also, all right. So that maybe that would have given it a boost, but like, just kind of because of the reception, like why would Microsoft even bother?
Suicide Squad was given for free to all on Amazon and Twitch Prime on Prime Day, says Eric.
Oh, did that and so via Prime Day they're giving out the PC code, right? Like,
I don't know if they gave you that. I'm assuming they gave you Steam code. I don't know what they give you on Amazon Prime for free games.
Yeah, I'm wondering because even with a free give out like that, like the player count was still this tiny.
Epic. It's on Epic Store, is what he said.
Epic. Okay.
Well, I bet you people got those codes for free and still said they don't want it just because it was on Epic.
Epic doesn't have any way to track this sort of thing, do they? Like they don't have a thing that people go look at in terms of like Steam, like I don't player numbers.
Yeah, I've never really looked at it. But
either way, the sentiment, like regardless of how many people actually played it, the sentiment is just rock bottom for this game. Like folks were not happy with it. They're not happy with the content that's coming for it. Like no excitement around it. No hope that there's something that can be turned around regarding this game either.
No. So I mean the Joker update was a joke. Sorry, I gotta be the pun guy since Darren's and Marty's not here. But maybe I'm like I said, I'm kind of interested that they keep trying to work on it. I bet they have like an absolute skeleton crew at Rocksteady, like just getting the bare minimum done to do what they said they would do. But it's a game that is definitely on ice at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what happens after this? Like Rocksteady?
Well, Rocksteady said they're going back to their single player stuff. That's what their plan is. But I don't know what
would it still be like?
I just don't know what Rocksteady looks like anymore. Like Rocksteady, like the founders have left. A lot of the core people left to go work at that new 100-store studio.
And that was prior to Suicide Squad's release.
Suicide Squad's release, yeah. And so I don't really know. Who knows what Warner Bros. Plan is for it? Like, and I'm shocked. I am absolutely shocked that like they haven't had layoffs. But I won't be shocked when they do, because knowing corporate malarkey stuff, my gut tells me, hey, the seasonal updates will bring players back to the game, and if we discount it and people will pick it up, and it's still not happening.
Yeah, and then they blame the studio for basically following through with the mandates that corporate gave them, and then they cut staff.
Yeah, like going back, like Jason Schreier did the story on Suicide Squad, and like this was a game that Rocksteady kind of wanted to make. Like the founders did want to make a multiplayer something, but I don't like they were basically kind of handed Suicide Squad from Warner Bros. Montreal, and then Warner Bros. Montreal went on to make Gotham Knights, and both games were just bad.
So hold on, I didn't realize that a different studio started on this and then made the same game again. Like they just did it. I was wondering why those two games were so similar, and it's weird that they're both bad.
And then Hogwarts Legacy is the best-selling single-player game. Like, I don't know. Maybe stick to single-player. Warner Bros. Maybe know what they're doing. I'm really concerned for Monolith. Because we're working on that Wonder Woman game.
Oh, is that still a thing?
It is still a thing. Yeah.
I've heard nothing about that since.
Nobody's.
You know what? Who's making the Black Panther Captain America joint?
That is EA Motive.
Because the stuff they showed from
EA created a new studio for that.
Because the stuff from that has looked really good. Like I think it was a dev talk or a GDC showcase.
You're talking about you're talking about this Amy Hennig's game.
Yeah.
Captain America and Black Panther 1941 something.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because Cliffhanger Games is an EA studio also working on a Black Panther game.
Yeah, not that one.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one yet.
The double billing one.
Yeah, with always seen from that. Yeah, always seen from that as like a nice UE5 cutscene.
And it was really nice. I'm gonna be honest.
Really nice. It was. Yeah.
It was kind of really nice. I'm very curious to see what else they got cooking on that joint.
But yeah, I hope Rocksteady comes out of Suicide Squad like okay. I just knowing how the AAA industry is right now, like my gut tells me is that they're trying to save face and save numbers by continuing to do those seasonal updates with this new content packs, hoping to drive more people to the game because they did try to give it away for free. In Prime, as Eric said, and like what if it's not doing anything? Like, the corporate brain is telling me like, do we need all these people to make the next single player game?
Yeah, I see it too. It's it's shitty. Yeah. Like it's just shitty. Like they're really kind of stuck with this kind of egg right now that they can only do so much with. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still very curious as to what they do next. Like, will they even get an opportunity? Like, it could be so dire that they shutter everything. Like, they just go, we're not
And now I don't
Like,
I
none
don't
is
think
worth it.
I don't think they'll shutter Rocksteady, but I mean, if you staffed up a ton to support a live service game and you're not making a live service game, then the trend seems to be downsize. So, speaking of downsizing, well, that's where we get to the Bungie story, where unfortunately they have laid off a lot of people today. They laid off 220 people today, which is 17% of their workforce. They also laid off a bunch of people at the end of last year, October of last year. And then not only 220 people were laid off, like another 150 some people are moving to SIE Studios, Sony Interactive Entertainment Studios. And then some amount of people, Jason Schreier has kind of updated the number a couple of times. I think it's 45 now, have been moved to a new PlayStation studio. They're forming a new studio within PlayStation to work on an action game that they had in incubation at Bungie.
Okay, so I guess something they saw internally had enough promise that they were like, all right, you guys splinter off and keep developing this. They'll possibly staff it up if it turns into something else, is my guess. But
yes. So, Bungie, as we kind of mentioned at the start of this thing, Bungie was acquired by Sony about 2 years ago, and it was literally a news story that came out from Bungie's leadership, talking about how there weren't going to be layoffs and restructuring at Sony, but then some internal reporting came out that was essentially saying like Sony has a right to take over the board of Bungie if they don't hit certain financial goals. So under Sony, Destiny Lightfall came out, and that performed poorly. And then now we're at the latest update, which.
So is it Lightfall that possibly triggered this clause or something?
Well, that's what
kind of speculation.
And that's kind of what their PR press is kind of saying. So I'll just kind of read this out verbatim. So, new path for Bungie from Bungie CEO Pete Parsons, who we'll get into in a little bit because that's what the title refers to. This morning, I'm sharing with all of you some of the most difficult changes we've ever had to make as a studio, due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions. How many times have we heard that this past year? It has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. That means beginning today, 220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. These actions will affect every level of the company, including most of our executive and senior leader roles. Today is a difficult and painful day, especially for our departing colleagues, all of which have made important, valuable contributions to Bungie. Our goal is to support them with the utmost care and respect. For everyone affected by this job reduction, we will be offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage. So they had a lot of projects in development. Destiny has kind of been struggling even before the final shape. We've heard a lot of news stories about, the player counts dropping, revenue dropping, all that. I mean, it's a 10-year-old game at this point. Like, obviously, that's going to happen. People are going to get tired and move on. And it's just, I don't think after the final shape, they're doing like this weird kind of seasonal model, which people I don't think have responded too positively to, because it seems like every time Bungie changes something like this, like the content well kind of starts to dry up for Destiny each time. And
yeah, folks weren't happy with the rollout prior to that either. So like, it seems like they've just struggled to just please their player base, which always ends up being the case when you have a long in the tooth live service thing. Like, your most diehard people end up never happy. They still love the game. They play it all the time. It's their forever game, but they're just never happy about it.
Yeah. I really liked the final shape. It was received really well. It sold well, but when you're looking at this kind of game, I don't know. And none of the people working on these things can seem to know what success is anymore for a live service game. Where is the what is your goal? How do you keep players on these games forever anymore? There's too many of them.
I think they're all especially the ones who are as close to the big guys as possible without being one of the big guys themselves. I think they're holding themselves too that literal standard of the biggest guy, right? Like, what is Call of Duty doing? And then when you don't hit those numbers, you're like, why aren't you doing what Call of Duty's doing? And that's so damaging, because like there could be a place for you somewhere in the middle, but they never aim for the middle.
Yeah, well, like Destiny's just so ambitious with what they want to do, because it's not like Fortnite, right, where you can just keep people coming back and spending money by, we put, Deadpool and Wolverine in as character skins that you can buy now.
Yeah, whatever new hot thing.
Changing the map a little bit. Like, they're not adding what they are. Like, they're doing like their expansions like Lego Fortnite and the racing game and all that, but those are whole other studios making those things and putting them into Fortnite, where Fortnite itself, is a map update every once in a while, and then new characters and a new battle pass.
They throw new mechanics in there. I'll be fair. Like, every time they have like a new event, it's like, all of a sudden web swinging's in the game. All of a sudden you can teleport and fly, and it's
not the level of they need to do cinematics and a whole new story and everything like Destiny. Like, those are expansions every single time.
They kind of do. I think they do. Like, Fortnite is stupid big. They do cinematics and story within that world on top of but all the crossover tie-ins, and it's and that's why it's so difficult to keep up with. Like, any of these other companies who try to emulate this sort of thing, like they're working against like just so much money and manpower. And like you got to carve out your own unique space, but like these corporate models are built to replicate, not to innovate. So like they see that's success. You don't hit that, everybody gets cut.
Yeah, I was working on a story back at The Escapist, like talking to a bunch of people about live service games, and like a lot of people like told me they like working on live service games because it offers stability, where a game, a new IP may not, right? A new IP may not sell, and then the studio is half closed down or whatever it is. We saw that with Ascendant Studios and Immortals of Avium, right? It's a much bigger risk to work on a new IP than it is to go work on Call of Duty or Fortnite or Destiny or whatever.
It's a definite sense of comfort knowing, because you have like milestones and reoccurring cycles that you basically just hitting year after year. And if your game is in that pantheon, that's super that's just really solid in terms of just like your job security. Like, everything else is just up for grabs.
Yeah, so I think the part that's unique about Bungie's situation is kind of the messaging that came along with it, where almost kind of like what happened with Escapist and Gamers, is they're acquired and like, hey, everything's gonna be great, no layoffs, no restructuring, none of this stuff. You're gonna get what you need to be supported, blah blah blah. Also behind the scenes are, hey, these are internal targets they need to hit, or we are going to come in there and
just lies,
just rip out your pants from under you.
Just total lies.
One of the story that's kind of being called out today is the CEO of Bungie, Pete Parsons. I don't know a lot of nice things being said about him on social media, which, when things go wrong at your company, you're the person to be targeted. But apparently he likes to buy a lot of cars. I'll just read out the stories from Ethan Gotch over on Kotaku. Bungie CEO seemingly spent over $2.3 million on classic cars after Sony acquisition. Some are calling on Pete Parsons to resign after another round of devastating layoffs. Sony purchased Bungie, the original studio behind Halo and the maker of Destiny 2, for a whopping $3.6 billion in 2022. Following the sale, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons purchased over 20 classic cars in an online auction costing millions of dollars, according to his account on the website Bring a Trailer. He continued buying them even after mass layoffs at the studio. Parsons, who has been an executive at Bungie for over 2 decades, has faced lots of public criticism over the last year for Bungie's struggles around the evolution of Destiny 2 and leadership decisions that led 100 staff to be laid off last October. A tweet from the CEO thanking those cut for their contribution to the company was accused of being tone deaf at the time.
He couldn't have meant. He couldn't have meant thank you for your contribution in terms of now that we've cut you, you're contributing to our success, right? That's not what he meant. He meant like the contributions while you were still here, right?
Yeah,
right?
but also like, man, the optics of buying cars
That's utterly ridiculous
when you can't afford to keep the people on your staff. And then like some of the people that I follow on Twitter, are basically like, yeah, like he goes around and flaunts his money to the people that are about to be laid off. And it's like telling them like, oh yeah, like I bought these cars, you should come see them. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like,
he's
kind of
what did you say,
leadership is this?
2 decades of that senior level leadership stuff. Like he's in a different world now. Like he's super rich, and like the world changes for you, I assume, at that stage where like you just don't have a frame of reference for like the struggles of all the other people who aren't in that tax bracket, because that's insane. Like and this is a cultural problem. Like this country in particular is so like does not give a shit about the poor. And like I'll admit it, like I'm guilty of this sort of stuff too. Like it's at all levels. Like if you're at this level, you care about you and everything around you, and then below that, you're still blind, right? Like you'll walk past a dude who's like on the corner of the street and it's like, I got someplace to be. I'm not gonna hand him the change in my pocket because I don't feel like it. Like I do that dickhead shit too. So like when you're that high up, like
you have to take care of yourself, but also like you can't. It's so every CEO statement where these layoffs have happened is just read the same. Thank you for your contributions. Thanks for
like this boilerplate bullshit. Like
thanks for putting out this 9.5 rated Destiny expansion. See you later. Like I literally saw the Final Shape story was like the best received Destiny story content I've seen in a long time on social media.
People were really into it. Yeah, like I was excited to try and jump in.
Who do you think got laid off?
The story team.
The lead narrative designer. You just laid off the lead narrative designer that put out the best rated story Destiny has had in their expansions in a long time. Like, what is the point?
Is Destiny 2 finished now? Like, is that a clue that they're like, we're done making story in Destiny?
Yeah. Like no, they're doing those new seasons. I forget what they're called. I'll look it up, but they're continuing to add things after the Final Shape, and I think, but I don't know. Starting in 2024, episodes will be replacing seasons as our new way of storytelling and content update format for Destiny 2. Each episode will contain new story content and rewards, including a new exotic mission, exotic weapon, and armor. So I mean, like, it doesn't sound like we're getting any major expansions going forward for Destiny, and most of their focus is moving on to Marathon, and I think that there were rumors about like Destiny 3 moving everything to a new engine so that they can update it better, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, Destiny 2 is a really, really old game. Like it's about that time if you were going to keep pushing it.
Yeah. Benji 29 says, nope, they dropped a new project for next year called Frontiers. Yeah, Frontiers, whatever. We don't know what that is yet. But yeah, like I just I read these corporate statements now, and I'm like, we got the same thing when I got let go from Escapist. We're like, thanks for your time. Fuck off. See you later. And it's just
like you've served your purpose.
Yeah, you served your purpose. Now get out of here. And the amount of like talent you let go when you do these types of acquisitions and layoffs, I don't understand how you're future-proofing your studio by laying off like the people that make your studio these great games, and then you bring in new contractors that you pay less and work them up, and then they become senior leadership, and then you pay them too much, and then they get laid off while the CEO continues to make the fucking bag.
Like the natural like ecosystem of that sort of thing would be that those really big games start to suffer because they don't have the talent pool and experience to kind of keep making that quality level of content, and then all those people who are laid off manage to form smaller studios that do have the talent and the chip on their shoulder to be like, all right, the next thing I make is going to be way better than the last thing, and then they show them up, and that's a big deal, and then the quality comes back, and that talent persists.
But people people in chat are saying like the purpose is number go up now, later doesn't matter. Well, that's my point though, is like they want to be making more money in the long run, and you lay off the experienced people that will bring you that money by making a better
that's
game.
how you make the money, is like you let them make the good game. And like they refuse to put any stock in that. The people who rise to these positions so often just don't care about art. They don't know where it comes from. They don't know how it gets made. They just see that, these people under me have produced a product. I'm going to sell this product and reap the benefits. And once there's any issue with the benefits that I reap, then I gotta save that by cleaning house. Because
that's
just capitalism.
The real,
right? We keep coming back to this.
The real problem is the shareholders who are like, oh, your number went down, we're going to start pulling our money in investment. So we need to fluff those charts to make the number look better, and it's
all cursed.
Never works out in the long run. It just never does.
But in that case, that's good, right? Because that's end stage capitalism where everything is in decay, and then you see the skeleton of what creativity and actual hard work has built fall away because they've gutted all the insides. Yeah. But then those insides manage to go somewhere else and continue to flourish. Like, my fear is the vast amount of the layoffs and stuff. Like, it's so discouraging at this point. So many people are being laid off in such numbers that like the act of coming back to it feels daunting. Like, a lot of people just leave. Like, they don't want to do it over again at any capacity.
I think the silver lining to that, if there is one, is that we've like just really seen the private sector of games kind of come back. A lot of, unfortunately, like Humble Games wasn't a private sector; it was under Ziff Davis, right? So it wasn't a publisher that could afford to not continue growing because they got to please the shareholders again, right? And a lot of these indie publishers now don't have that kind of pressure on them to constantly just grow their money pools and make a rich CEO. There's kind of a mix of like a lot of the DICE guys, right? They left DICE and then they went and formed Embark Studios, and now they're working on the finals and that other game, Arc something.
Not the Vin Diesel one.
No, not Arc 2. That's under Studio Wildcard. God, I'm blanking on it, but they're working on that like PvE extraction shooter. But of course now they're their games are being published by Nexon, so they have shareholders to respond to, and so it's kind of this continuous cycle of like either the studios go independent and are like okay with just making a game, making enough money to make the next game and continuing to do their thing. Then you get those other bigger independent AAA studios that ended up working with publishers. Maybe they're getting better deals. I can't imagine deal with Nexon is that great. Arc Raiders Speakeasy, thank you.
No way to know.
And then the AAA industry, I just don't know what it's going to look like in 10 more years because so much talent has been lost because of these layoffs. People don't want to work at those studios anymore.
Yeah, it's because just like
you sit there and watch shareholders and executives and everybody reap the benefits. You make a really good game and then you get laid off for it.
And like this story, they publicly flaunt in your face how little they care about you. Like they don't even fake, like, because that's a line that they use often very much too. It's like, oh, it's really hard to cut have pity on us for having to fire all these people.
Yeah,
like they don't even pretend to do that when you see them, buying all these classic cars and stuff. Like they're not going to go work for that guy or that company. Like it's scary. Like people, like all the passion that it takes to go and look for a job in the games industry can 100% be outweighed by the fear of just not being able to make a living. Like a lot of these companies bank on that passion and they exploit people based on that passion. But like you can't play in their face like that. Like they're just not going to mess with you.
And like acquisitions too. Like hell, I mean, it was only 2018 when Xbox started to make the big acquisitions, and everybody was kind of excited about it because like, oh man, these indie studios are getting bought up. They're gonna get
funding
they need, the funding they need, and then Hi-Fi Rush happens, and then they're like, oh, and it's like now when I see an acquisition, it's like, uh-oh. He's just gonna gut the studio and do what they want with it.
And I'll be honest, folks were telling us from the get go, like, "Yo, mergers are always bad. Don't celebrate this." Whatever. It's like, but think of the good that could come from it. Like, I was a naive fool. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Like, because any of the possible good has been outweighed by the ending of that story, which is like they just stop caring at some point because that line stops going up, and then they cut everything like mercilessly.
Yeah. Jump the Woman says back in 2018, I said that was bad. Like, live service wasn't as big back then. We kind of used to know what a success meant for a game, where you could sell 5 million copies and it's a platinum game at that point. Like, you made it, kind of thing. Now it's like you have to make endless revenue. It just never ends, even for single player games. Where if like people have to keep buying it, people have to buy microtransactions in it. It has to be a game that we've invested all this money into. We have to make X amount of profit back, whatever that is.
But like if it's under like, a big publisher, right? Yeah, and like we were talking about last week, like your own defense, if you're under a publisher, seems like unionization. Like there might still be, a world where you're successful making like a smaller scoped game if you're independent.
Mm-hmm.
But like those big labels, they're gonna start to require, if anyone's gonna bother to try and work for them, like they're gonna need some level of protection, and that's kind of where the unions come in. Like, this might be another catalyst. Like this is right on the heels of Blizzard and Bethesda doing their big unions. Like I can't imagine the staff left at Bungie are not getting phone calls right now from all the organizers.
It still doesn't solve the problem of working at these companies that just need to generate endless revenue.
No, I mean, it doesn't. But it does.
You get better protections leaving.
Yeah, it gives you some pushback. Like right now, they've got nothing. Yeah. Like it gives you some leverage at the very least, which is better than nothing, which is what they have right now.
Yeah. So one of the bigger updates to come out of this is, as I said, it's kind of at the start of the show, is Sony. Some of their internal reporting that came out when Sony acquired Bungie was that they had like clauses in there that if Bungie doesn't hit certain goals, revenue targets, whatever it is, player retention, we don't know, then Sony would have the right to basically take over the company, the board. And so some of the reporting right now is that Pete Parsons, Bungie leadership, whoever it was, basically laid off these people to try to get those numbers up so that they could avoid this takeover. We don't know the internal details, like who laid off who. Sony laying off people? Is it Bungie laying off people? Bungie's still technically independent under Sony.
Yeah, and I think they made statements during the first round that it wasn't Sony's fault, that Bungie's leadership, like they blamed themselves even. They were like, oh, we made decisions and things didn't work out, and so we had to, like, it wasn't on Sony.
Yep. So Jeff Grubb is reporting as of 7 hours ago that Herman Hol, who's the head of PlayStation at this point, PlayStation Studios, runs Bungie now. And said also they attempted to soften the blow by sending many people from Bungie into SIE instead of just cutting them. I thought the number of jobs lost was going to be closer to 350. I'll put it as far as I know, which isn't everything by a long shot. In time, Bungie will lose its autonomy and will become like any other PlayStation worldwide studio under SIE and Herman Hol.
That's pretty upsetting.
It says it's a process that's starting now.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
Like, so it was essentially kind of a coin flip whether Bungie would stay independent or not based on that clause. And like, I feel like that 220 number keeps getting muddy. Like, can we clarify? So the 220 that were let go, these were people who were fully removed from the company, not counting anyone who was absorbed by SIE.
Yeah. 220 is the number let go completely.
Like fully. Okay. So then so that was still a huge number of people who they took away from Bungie outside of the 220 that just went to SIE, and then another like
45
smallish medium number who did. So yeah, Bungie itself has been absolutely devastated in terms of like staff. Is it 850 left?
Yeah, there's still 850 people there. But like numbers aside, like it just, like I said, the lead narrative guy was like, oh, that just worked on the final shape. And
yeah,
I've seen like other senior people that were let go. And so it's more of like how much talent did they just lose at that studio? I don't know. Like that's a sad
yeah,
situation.
and it's unclear
like Bungie,
what. Yeah,
yeah,
what.
Bungie used to be my favorite studio, like working on Halo and everything like that. But I mean, that studio though has a long history of issues. Like Martin O'Donnell and them have big fight, and that's why he's not there anymore. A lot of the leadership there, there's a lot of stories about leadership there that have had issues. Joseph Staten leaving the studio was kind of a quiet thing that happened. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Bungie isn't the same Bungie. Like, yeah, we've known that for a while. But
the executive team that seems to cause the problems is the same Bungie. That guy's been there 20 years.
But like now that's changing, right? Because now they have overhead. Like but like Sony hasn't been, great at this sort of thing either. So like it's the same mindset up top.
Yeah, I don't know. What a weird story with Bungie getting acquired by Sony, and the whole thing is they're going to stay independent and then not do layoffs, not do restructuring, and then bam.
And then they do layoffs and restructuring.
They do everything they said they weren't going to do,
and then won't even be independent. Like, yeah, every single
every single thing they promised is not happening, which is crazy.
So I mean, does that reflect more poorly on Bungie management who accepted this deal, or Sony who is this level of control expected from like a big ass company like Sony? Like, is Bungie at fault for like taking the money?
I think it's absolutely Bungie at fault for taking the money. I mean, like, you're playing with Sony.
Like, would they have survived this long without that though? Because I'm assuming they would have needed to get that sort of backing to keep making Destiny 2, because they were independent by the time 2 ran around. Like, I think they had that deal with Activision for Destiny 1, and then they were able to get out of it early because I think it was supposed to be like a 10-year deal or something.
Yeah, the fact check that. Bungie,
yeah, like because they were like, before Sony bought them, like they were independent, but prior to that, like they had that deal with Activision.
Well, Activision split with Bungie because Destiny was not meeting financial expectations.
Oh, great. So this is a familiar story.
Yep. Yes. Right for they.
So it's interesting that, like, I don't know what that deal was, that despite them disappointing Activision based on financial markers, whatever, Activision didn't have the authority to like either take the IP or change anything with Bungie. They were able to just separate and leave Bungie to possibly falter on their own, like without Activision having to like foot that bill. But then Sony swooped in and essentially saved them. Like, we probably never would have got the amount of Destiny we got if Sony hadn't shown up to do this. And so like, it was kind of like a deal with the devil almost.
Yeah, well, that's what they said, is like they can't release Forsaken level quality expansions without help.
Right, that backing, yeah.
Yeah, Lightfall was the last one that they kind of developed on their own before they were bought by Sony. When was that released? That was released in 2023. Oh, that was only a year ago. What? Well, I don't know then. Like, Destiny's a weird one. Like, you always think of it as like the big monolith of live service, and it's not.
It is weird, yeah. It's one of those things, because that game has always
got the model right.
Yeah, like it's a quality bar that they hit. Mm-hmm. Like even the shakiness at the start and like the certain expansions that were sort of letdowns, it would always come back and be this sort of model of like, other games should do it like this. Like Destiny 2 is doing it right in terms of like gameplay and structure or whatever. Like, it's always been a mark of quality in that way. And I feel like, yeah, maybe that has blinded a lot of players and maybe even folks in the industry to just how burdensome it is to maintain something at that stage. Because like a company was like Sony was eager to get into bed with Destiny, siding with Bungie, knowing their history with Halo, knowing the success with Destiny, or perceived success with Destiny, and then quickly found out like, oh, there's mad skeletons in this closet.
Yeah.
So,
you know who has it right?
It's unfortunate.
You know who really has it right?
No.
Genshin Impact.
Shit.
Casino mechanics.
Shit. Yeah, the thing is, you're right. Because they offset, like, the quality is there, but they offset that huge cost by exploiting the shit out of people. That is, it's just evil enough to work.
Yeah.
Dang, should put a casino in Destiny.
Oh man, gotcha mechanics for like weapon skins and all. Oh god, I'm putting bad ideas out in the world. Sorry, chat.
Yo, that would work. Like people cannot control themselves. Yeah, it preys on that lizard brain part of you that says like, I need the next shiny thing, especially when they're super invested in a game. Destiny has that sort of loop that would have the people who want that stuff.
Well, they had
chomping at the bits.
Well, they had more egregious monetization in the game. They removed it because of the player backlash. Because then they had like all those different currencies that they removed. I think like 2020, some 2021 maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember when the like that I can't remember what the currency is called, but like that in-game
legendary shards.
No, legendary stars was the basic thing. Like they had some weird like
these are dust strange coins.
No, those were all.
I don't understand any of the currencies.
Yeah, Destiny has a million currencies.
Icons.
But yeah, one of them was all about premium stuff, and that came late. Like that silver, Tyree, I think it was like silver something.
What is?
And that came super late, and like I didn't mind it. Like it was kind of off to the side. Like there was a specific NPC in a shop that you would talk to, where you could see all that stuff. It had some cool stuff in it. Breaking down certain things would give you some of the bright dust. Yes, Rose Delta. That's what it was.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, breaking down certain things would give you like little amounts of bright dust, and if you saved up enough, then you could just buy something via the game. But like, you could just absolutely ignore it entirely and be perfectly fine. Whereas built into the model of these gacha games is like, hey, you want new characters, new fun mechanics? Roll the dice.
See,
and it's like I be wanting these new characters. Like, I don't spend any money, but like I feel that pull, and someone who's a lot more loose with their pockets are gonna get got.
Yeah,
I see it.
Have you spent any money on Zenless Zone Zero yet?
No, not yet. But I am still playing Zenless Zone Zero.
Have you been enticed?
No, because I know how that ends. Like what I might do, because I do the Google survey thing on my phone. Like every now and then it'll ask me a question like, oh, did you buy something when you went to this store or whatever? I'll be like, no, and I didn't get a receipt. I just lie. But then they give you like a little bit of in-game like Google Store currency, whatever. Since it's also a mobile game, I can convert that into whatever. So like once I've saved up enough of that fake money, I can use that to buy stuff in game. So like that's my workaround. But like no, I've never like used my actual credit card in any Hoyoverse joint.
You know what money I like to earn? Bing search points.
What? Yeah, I've not used enough Bing to know that they give you points for using it.
I have like enough points to like make $10. I don't know when I use Bing, but
it's like I can buy $10 Bing. It's like Bing money, or is it like $10 that you could like take to Amazon or something?
Yeah, I can like turn in my Bing points to get a gift card, like a $5 gift card to Amazon or Xbox or whatever.
Okay,
so I guess that's the kind of currency I want to earn.
Have you been keeping track of these super chats? Because I can't see the whole thing.
Yeah, I've got them in the back end. We'll get to those in a second. Right. I gotta pull it up, but God, maybe next week when I'm going filming the Animal documentary, we won't have a story about layoffs or some other bullshit in the industry. But we'll see.
Here's hoping.
My Audio donated $5. Says, I know you're holding Marty hostage in the sound booth. This is for the Random Money Fund. The money fund is going towards it's this broken closet door. He's got soundboards back there. And Smice Audio again with $2.
When did Eric make this picture of Nick and Marty in the hospital?
What is that? Oh, is he in a hospital bed?
Yeah. I guess because he's sick, he put him in a hospital bed.
Yeah. Oh, that picture's from when we were at GDC showcasing Starstruck Vagabond. I don't know why they didn't use that. Did they use that one on any of the thumbnails they made of me where they were yelling at me? I didn't see that one. That would have been a good one to use. They should have also
they used a fairly nice profile picture of you, I think.
Oh yeah, they used like I was in like a suit in one of them, and I was like, like talking about my wife is gonna beat me up or beat them up. I don't remember, but I was at a wedding this past weekend, and my friends were telling some of the bridesmaids about those thumbnails that were made of me. And like, you gotta show us these. So like we're all drunk, looking at these and just laughing our asses off at those thumbnails. And then like everybody was going around just calling me a scumbag all night. It's like, yeah, it's me. Smash Audio donated $2. Says that's supposed to be ransom money. Autocorrect. What did you say?
Oh,
random. They said random money. Jewel Raw doing that's €2 is a little Mountain Dew allowance for Nick. This is actually my second one today. I had a headache earlier, so I decided more caffeine would put that away.
Yeah, that's not how you treat that.
Yeah, Elvis Guru 2000 donates $5. Says you gotta give him some slack. He is suffering too. I bet he had to haggle for some of those cars. Yeah, he did. There's like comments from his wife on that page. They're like, what's another $6 to $8 grand on a car? I'm like,
doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, it does not. I gotta find this one from Dower Dodger. Donates $11.91, which I think took us over the goal. It says look forward.
Oh, did we?
Looking forward to the Prime trilogy. Good taste. So you'll be starting that in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then before we move on to what we've been playing,
I think you missed one. Benji 29.
Benji 29, $10 says news comes as a major gut punch, especially after the first layoffs in October 2023. Into the light update and final shape seemed like a brighter turn since then. Thanks for talking about the second one. Yeah, like it sucks. I guess we can relate because like Escapist was in a really good spot when all that went down. Just having that all ripped out from under you is like you don't even get to celebrate the success of what you're doing before like some corporate dickbag is like, see you later, have fun. And then we also got a Ko-Fi dono from Sinusoidal Waves gave support just now. Here's to buying a similar car to the Bungie CEO. I don't even know what car he has. Look, I get annoyed. My car's paid off.
Yeah, he has several cars, so like, it's hard to guess what car he has because there are lots of them.
Yeah, Yahtzee and I were talking about that after the stream, and like, he's like, where do you even put all those cars? Like, well, he's got enough money to buy all those cars. He's probably got enough money to put them somewhere.
Yeah, to store them. Yeah,
he's got a big like probably shed to put them all in. Yeah.
Like what if you were like a dickbag million billionaire, what would be the thing you just buy a lot of? Like what's your collection, your dickbag collection?
My dickbag collection. That's what I'm gonna spend that money on. Dick bags. No, I wouldn't collect anything. I'd want to open a game studio and make games.
So you would collect game devs. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll collect their skulls. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing in my life that I'm like, I need to spend this much money to collect and just hold on to. Also, because I was saying, my car is paid off and I still have to pay property taxes on it. Why the fuck would I own 20 cars to pay property taxes on 20 cars? Because I have enough money not to give a shit.
There's that. But property tax on a car, we don't do that here. Like we pay a shit ton of property tax in Jersey, but luckily that does not apply to your vehicle.
All right, I've talked a lot of shit on New Jersey, but I'm moving there. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
You don't know, Nick. The cost of living is so much higher over here.
I'm trying to get my car registered, and I can't do it because I can't find out where my car taxes went because I moved houses. They didn't send it to me. Missouri government sucks.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of car does Nick have? I'd be doxing myself. You find it. No. I drive a bike. You're welcome. Unmotorized bike is my
motorcycle.
Yeah, no, I drive one of those little tight cars. I gotta use my feet.
Like those power wheels?
No, not even the power wheels, just the red one with the yellow
like the one that
I gotta run on the ground.
Front of a shopping cart.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I guess we'll move on to what we've been up to this week. DC, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been.
I just read the thing and I saw Suicide Squad and I was like, why? And then I read the second part is Isekai.
Yeah. That's why when I wrote the note thing, I wrote Suicide Squad game season 2 is flopping.
Yeah. Man, that's a lot of shit to talk about a game you're playing and enjoying.
I did start the Suicide Squad Isekai anime. I've only watched the first 2 and like a half episodes because I was interrupted when I started watching the third one. That's a fun ass show, in all honesty. Yeah. It's a Warner Bros joint, but it's Warner Bros Japan, and I don't know how long that animation did because it is it's the stuff is done by WIT, which is a well-known animation studio. I can't tell you off the top of my head right now what other big series they have, but WIT is a known entity. But Warner Bros Japan is, I guess, like the producer, the house that they're contract network to WIT from. So you can very much feel that this is a joint Western Eastern product because everything has the look, the feel, the sound of like a very high quality anime product, but it's very much making commentary on the genre as if it's not a part of it. Like they use the word isekai in the isekai, like they get isekai, and like one of the characters is Clayface, and he's an actor or whatever. So he's like the TV buff. He knows the tropes, and he basically comments on like, oh, this is what they call it. I think the kids call it isekai nowadays, where like we're in a new world or whatever. So like it has that sense of humor where like it knows it's kind of being this mashup of like the fun concepts. And like it's like I'm really intrigued by the story. Like there's like good character dynamics that we've known this for a while. Like the James Gunn movies kind of prove the concept of like those characters interacting with each other on screen. And it's pretty much the same lineup. Like you got King Shark, you got Clayface wasn't in the movies, but Clayface hangs around in the Harley Quinn show, which is another good animated series. So like they got Clayface, King Shark, Peacemaker, Deadshot, and Harley Quinn. And then they meet Rick Flag a little later. And like they're just fun. Like they all get on each other's nerves, but they're in such a dire situation that, you know, they have to stick together, they have to make it work. And they're in such a weird fish out of water place that their dynamics with each other clash heavily with just the dynamics of the location they're in, and like people having to deal with them now being in their space. Like it's a really, really fun premise. And like the isekai genre is so oversaturated, and like they know that, but they still did this playing in that,
have fun with it.
Right. Yeah. Like found a way to basically be like, hey, yes, we know this is another one of these, but we can do it too. The same way they do it over and over and over again. And they all still seem to be pretty good. So I'm having a good time watching it. They have the end credits has a sexy Amanda Waller dance sequence. And it
is that? I think I saw that on Twitter, and
it is funny as shit. Like they know exactly what they're doing. Like they're poking fun at just anime in general, and like I love it.
And what's that on?
It's weirdly enough, it's on Hulu, but Hulu through Disney Plus. Right. Like if you go straight to Hulu, you're not going to find it, but you have to go to Disney Plus's Hulu thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird, like that's how I started watching Shogun.
Yeah, DC's being weird because that new Batman show is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, like they've completely given up on all their stuff. Yeah, like they don't give a shit anymore.
I guess.
Like I've heard that some rumblings have gone out that they're planning on maybe demerging Warner Bros. From Discovery now, because like they have not figured out how to make any of that stuff work, and like that's going to be a train wreck if that goes through. Because one of those two entities is going to get saddled, I'm assuming, with all of the debt.
Discovery.
Probably.
What's even on Discovery anymore? Is that just the?
It was like all the Shark Week stuff, right? All the like what is it, Ancient Aliens.
YouTubers took over all that.
But that's the thing, like that stuff is incredibly popular to like just everyone else. Like we niche ass gamer people, like we're the ones who like watch all the other stuff that's on Mac. Like Discovery has like all the true crime bullshit. Like that's way more popular in the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, no, I know. My mom subscribes to Discovery for that shit.
Yeah, there you go.
I get real worried because like she's constantly watching how to murder people. I'm like, I'm just not going to piss you off today. It's fine.
Yeah, this can't be healthy.
I mean, I'm moving her into my house for a little bit, but I'm like, no TV in your room. I don't want to be hearing people getting murdered all night. She's like, well, you play Call of Duty. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like,
oh, you know what? She got you there. That's a quality.
They used to do that all the time when I was growing up. Every shooter game is the same. And then I fire back like, will you watch people literally get like just everything bad possibly in the world happen to them and buried in your backyard? Yeah. Also, you were the Joker for a little bit. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that.
Okay, well, you'll get to see it in the.
Oh, that's horrific! I see you as Harley. Right?
Oh fuck! Yeah, well, at least I have hair this week.
Wild.
Oh, I know. There's no beard though.
You look like a juggalo right now. Is what like like an insane clown posse member.
I mean, that's what I look like every Monday.
Yeah, outside of Suicide Squad, you guys might have seen earlier in the week, I checked out Spark the Electric Jester, which is, oh no, Eric, this is frightening. This is like Heath Ledger Joker. That's bad.
Yeah, real white teeth, dude.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, Spark the Electric Jester. It's basically a Sonic fan game by someone who decided to make Sonic but better. And someone in the Discord described it as Sonic meets Kirby. And like, that's a perfect description, because my beef with Sonic has always been, and I wrote a whole thing back on The Escapist about my beef with Sonic.
Sonic meets Kirby, so Sonic's sucking a lot of things off.
No, oh my god.
Real fast. That's what they really call it.
That is, you're right in league with all the Sonic furries on the internet, because you know that exactly what you're saying just exists out there on the internet.
God. Siri, I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Oh shit, he's answering me. No, I didn't.
Now it's in your system. Have fun with those search returns. No, but no, yeah, it's like my beef with Sonic is that its whole ethos is that you're supposed to go fast. It's a platformer that prides itself on its speed, boost processing, they called it back in the day, right? But the level design stops you dead in your tracks so often. Like, Sonic is designed to actually take a lot of time, because you need to memorize the level layout, and that's the only way you're able to achieve like that flow of just zooming through the whole level, because you know everything before it's there. And like, it's a miserable experience when you just want to go fast. Spark the Electric Jester fixes that, because one, Spark is an entirely different thing. His ethos is not go fast, right? So like, you can just throw that out of the window. But instead of all of these stopgaps, it gives you like Kirby-esque power-ups, where like you just completely change what kind of character you are. Like, you either have different attacks, different movement abilities based on what power-ups you have, and you can juggle between two different ones, and they just change how you interact with the level. So you're not so preoccupied with zooming through everything. You actually end up doing regular platforming or some regular combat encounters where like you're shooting at stuff like it's a Mega Man game, or you're slashing at something like it's a Ninja Gaiden on SNES or something. And like, it's like the levels aren't great. Like, they're still pretty confusing in that Sonic style, but you just have more options to deal with that all, as opposed to just meandering Sonic when he stopped slow and then like running immediately into something, stopping you dead when you're going fast. Like, it's only two levels to old school Sonic, and this just does everything better by opening up what you can do with the character. So like, I had a really good time in the short 2 hours. No. I'm gonna go through the whole trilogy eventually.
Okay.
So yeah, 2 weeks time, when it's my go again, I'll try the second one, and then 2 weeks after that, I'll try the third one. So I'll probably report back on how those stack up.
Running almost reminds me of like Pizza Tower, and then you add in all the other mechanics.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good time. And then also, you guys might have seen earlier in the week, I played Earth Defense Force 6 with Jesse, Jess, and Will. So we had a full squad. That game is dumb fun. Like, it is just as janky as you would want it to be, because that's kind of what those games go for. It's a very B-movie vibe. It's a co-op shooter. You fight like big bugs and like weird aliens. Like, there's like these giant frogs that like break up into pieces when you kill them. Like the dialogue is bad, but like in like a funny way. Like, they give you like a description at the start that says all this stuff happened, and then soon after, 3 years later. Like that, those are the words they write. And it's like, what? That doesn't fucking make any sense. So soon after, 3 years later, like, what are you talking about? But like, it's silly. It's just silly enough to pull you in to like be curious about what this story is. Like at the end of our stream, we were in a very big battle. Like they throw a ton of stuff on the screen because like, they don't push your graphics to the extreme. Like everything is very jank on purpose.
Yeah.
But like a massive like halo ring appeared in the sky and then sucked everything that was left on the battlefield up into the sky. And we're just standing there like, what the F was that? Like, what is happening in this story? And honestly, if Marty's still out, we're probably just going to regroup and keep going through it tomorrow. So look forward to that if you guys were interested or missed the last one. But it was a good time. Like I really, really like Earth Defense Force 6. If I don't know how many legs it would have. That saying does not make any sense. I don't know how much mileage you get out of it if you're playing it by yourself.
No, but you don't get any mileage out of those games playing it by yourself.
Yeah, like
crazy bullshit that happens. But
yeah, like you need your friends and like the silly banter to sell that, but like it's not the case where like because your friends are there, the game is fun. This game definitely enhances the fact that you are playing it with people you like.
Yeah. So
like it's a really good mashup of like getting your friends together and playing something fun. So like I had a great time with that.
Yeah, man, the last time I played an Earth Defense Force game was, I think there was one on the 360. Maybe Earth Defense Force 3 or something. Maybe that's
I think 4 was the last one before this one I messed with.
Yeah. Tower Dodger Esquire, remember for 8 months in the Green Gang, says the game only works when you 4 are playing it. That's probably true because I just find a way to blow up our entire team every time. Are there ragdolls? Like
yes,
the player characters. The player characters have ragdolls.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
It was such stupid fun.
Well, as far as what I've been watching and playing, probably gonna piss off the chat with this one, but I have continued watching The Wheel of Time season 2 on Amazon. And I'm actually having a really good time with it. I actually really enjoy it. I've never read the books, so I don't give a shit what it changed. I'm sorry to say. I don't know. But the writing has been a lot more interesting this season. The actors are better. And I just, they've
like grown into their roles a little more.
They've grown into their roles and a lot darker tone to the season, which you all know I'm a fan of the darker fantasy stuff. It's just like it's a show that like I started season 2 a while back and like episode 1 and 2 didn't really catch me, and then I finally just said, all right, I'm gonna just sit down and watch this now, and it finally like clicked for me, and I just been binging it through. I'm gonna finish up the season finale tonight, and then I'm looking forward to that. They already confirmed season 3, so at least it's a show that I can watch.
Oh, they did. Okay, so I guess people are tuning in.
Yeah, I think the general audience likes it. Like the hardcore audience is never into these adaptations unless they're perfect.
Yeah, because they all read the books.
Yeah, that's true. I don't read. I'm like Marty. I don't read. That's reading's for nerds.
Also do not read. Yeah, put it on the TV.
John Lee Wombly says, no House of the Dragon. No, I've been keeping up with House of the Dragon. I'm waiting for that season finale this Sunday. Lots of good TV to watch right now.
Wait, we'll talk about finale's Sunday already?
Yeah.
How many episodes were there?
There's only 8 episodes this season.
That went fast.
Yeah, I know, right? Because this is wrapping. The Boys wrapped up 2 weeks ago. House of the Dragon's wrapping up this week. And then in like 3 weeks, the next season of Lord of the Rings starts. So I'm gonna rewatch the Rings of Power and binge through it and see if I like it more. Really, season 2 looked okay.
You weren't a big fan of it the first watch through, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those. I was like, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's like just fun, I guess. There's definitely Emirano says Wheel of Time is not dark. What? Are you not watching? Have you watched season 2? The woman's being tortured half the season. It's bad. Dark.
But is it dark torture? Maybe it's light torture.
No, it's dark. It's brutal. The season 2 is brutal.
Well, in season 1, wasn't it that big pregnant lady fight?
That was right at the start.
Yeah, that was pretty visceral.
Yeah, but she birthed the dragon boy?
I don't remember that part.
He's the dude that's going to save the world.
Spoilers for season 1.
Well, I mean, the entire plot is around that. You like literally know that within the first episode.
But then they try to play like you don't know that throughout the whole show, and then come back around and say like, well, yeah, you were right.
Yeah, but you don't know which boy is the baby, so get over it. Bungie 20 says, Nick, does that sound familiar? Halo. Hey, listen, they're trying to do season 3. I don't know. I'm not gonna shed a tear if it's gone. I don't really care at this point. I just whatever. Reboot the damn thing.
That's the thing. Halo's got to get rebooted everywhere. Like everywhere Halo is, they probably need to reboot it.
Yeah. They said they just like said the other day they're working on the next game, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what that is?
Hey, you know, when Halo when they reveal the next game, unless I see gameplay and not this bullshit, look at this cool world we made and this engine we made trailer, I'm not believing shit. You're not catching me. You're not hurting me again, Halo. Punch me in the gut like 3 different times in a row now, and I'm tired of it. The other game I played, much brighter in attitude and tone and all that good stuff, is I've actually played 2 games that are kind of like that. Thank Goodness You're Here, which
I'm
sure
folks have been really liking that.
About that. Yeah, made by Cole Supper and Panic. It's like a very, very simple game. It's got like it's almost really not even a game. it's like I guess you want to call it a walking simulator, but it's a little bit of platforming and some little animations that you move through. But the game is like just the comedy of it. It's straight up British comedy and
full of jokes.
It's just full of jokes throughout the entire thing, and I just had a smile on my face the entire time I played this game. It's only a few hours, but it's funny as fuck. Like I don't crack, like there's not very many games that I consider very funny. This game I consider very funny, and I was constantly cracking up at it.
It looks like a fun time.
Yeah, the sound design for it is incredible. It's weird. And that's all I can really say about it. Like, yeah. Also, Yahtzee, I streamed it today, not knowing that the embargo is for live streaming is tomorrow. So, you know, we had to stop about 30 minutes into it. But the devs didn't see that. I don't know if any devs are in chat.
Sorry. We apologize.
A bunch of people said they're going to buy the game anyway. So, you know, you're welcome.
Our mistake.
Embargo busting for your goodwill sales.
Don't try to twist it as if we did a good thing. Like apologize.
But yeah, if this game interests you at all, go play it because it's just a good time.
Yeah, I think I will. This might be a good one for the wedding streams down the road.
Oh, absolutely. It's super super funny. And then the other game I had Eric get a trailer ready for this one. This is kind of a game that you need to hear and see to understand what it is. So I'm just going to let him play this trailer, and then I'm going to shut up for a second.
Let me try to hear it then, if we're going to do that.
Mike.
Yeah, he's got to change the mic over. It's a VR game.
Okay.
And you've been playing this?
I bought it today.
You smell like Fissad.
What do you think you're doing? I'm not just some toy to prey on.
I am not some plaything to play catch with. Oh? Hey, don't point that thing at me. What are you wearing? Who's your stylist? Igor? Hey, look, Igor is coming up again. Quick, throw something at him. This is a joke. I just told you what that is.
Oh, why are you shrinking me? I was meant for greater things.
Don't go so close to Igor, son. You stop this cursed infinite loop. This floor smells like feet. Whee! Merlin's beard.
So I think he's got to change the mic back. Oh no, my mic's still working.
We're good.
I think we're good. So yeah, that's called Waltz of the Wizard, and it's you're like mixing potions. Like if you like VR games where you just get to interact with everything, this is that kind of game. And also like I think the skull talking to you is like this new update, and I kept seeing people like playing it on TikTok and Instagram. Maybe we should do more of that stuff, KC. But it's like super reactive to like everything you do, and so
the game is really just testing what this thing will react to.
Well, there's like I think there's a story in there, and there's like all kinds of mixing potions and stuff like that. And like I said, I just started it today, so I'm still figuring it out, like what's going on. But it's like a little adventure kind of game.
Okay.
But like I was just testing it earlier, and like I threw the skull, and he landed on the edge of the window, and he just kind of he stayed there, and he's like, I shouldn't be here. I'm too close to the window. This is bad. And then I took the crossbow and shot him off, and he reacted to all of it. It was really weird. It's really funny though.
Do we like because a lot of games that do this sort of thing, like they'll champion like their pages or lines of dialogue. Like, do we have like some sort of estimate as to how much writing they've done for this thing?
I don't know, but like the TikToks and Instagrams I saw of it, like he has a lot of different reactions that like the amount.
That sounds like a fun time, especially as a VR toy.
Yeah, it's perfect for VR.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's on. People are asking when it's on. It's on Steam. You can also get it on Oculus Quest, and it's a mixed reality game too. So like different things happen. Like you move throughout the world. Yeah, it's on PSVR too. So yeah, if that trailer interested you, it's like only $20. Like go check it out. It's pretty fucking funny.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
And then the last thing I have been playing yet again, because it seems to happen anytime I get on a plane, I am addicted to Balatro again. Every time I open that game, you start playing that game and it's like I got to keep coming back to it.
I haven't gotten the roguelike deck builder bug yet. Yeah. Like I tried Slay the Spire like a little while ago, because I know that was like the big one, and like that did nothing for me. I was like, uh-oh. But you said Wild Frost was another one. I want to try that Wild Frost. I also wanted to try Monster Train, because I had a friend who was like super addicted to that, and he was selling me on that. So like I'll try those before like I really swear them off. But like I don't want to jump into Balatro, because like I don't like cards or roguelikes or deck builders right now. So like I want to start somewhere else.
No, then you will like it.
Then I will like it.
Yes. It takes all those boring things. It makes it stupid, addicting, and fun.
I don't know.
Be on your phone, and then you can play it on the toilet, and you'll never leave.
They're getting ready to make a mobile one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm skeptical.
It's gonna make a fuck ton of. That game is going to make a fuck ton.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, folks. Folks freaking love Balatro.
Yeah, they're gonna make Fortnite look like baby food.
All right, I don't know about that.
They will, because I'll buy it like 1 billion times. But honestly, Marvel Snap probably makes Fortnite look like baby food, because $55 for gold in that game to get fake digital cards. You scammed artists.
They're not all paying $55 for gold.
The fact that
it's like a handful of people
on the store after 2 years means people are buying them, and they're still there.
But like not all the people, just some of the people,
just all the dumb people.
They don't got to be dumb. They could just be very rich.
Most rich people are dumb. We've learned this through Elon Musk.
I don't know. I don't want to.
The more money you have, the dumber you might be.
I don't want to make a generalized statement like that, and I especially don't want to say that Elon Musk has taught us anything about people. Like I don't think that man.
Wrong things about people.
I don't think that man does anything like other people does.
Listen, I saw my first Cybertruck on the road in Salt Lake City, and I just laughed. I just think
I'm starting to see them now. Yeah, they're out there in the wild.
That thing is so dumb looking. Also, like,
really
I watched
is.
it do like an illegal U-turn. I'm like, how that thing doesn't even look like it should turn. Oh yeah, they did put it.
Every
in
turn it
Fortnite.
makes is illegal.
Thanks for reminding us of that, Eric. But yes, if you want to play a deck building roguelike, start with Wild Thrust. I think you'll love that. It's not really
I will. Yeah, I will try that.
decks. Well, good. I'm glad it only took almost a year for you to finally try it after I screamed at all of you.
I haven't yet. I'm still just saying that I'm going to try it.
I yelled at all of you during the Adventures and I shoot to go try that game, and y'all just like, yeah, I'll get to
I was busy playing Smash. Excuse me.
You're always busy playing Smash. I can fucking hear you clicking that controller from here. I hear it at
never
night.
not be busy
Like
playing Smash.
It's like in my dreams I hear that controller clicking.
Good. Even while you sleep, I'm getting good.
Okay. Well, 7:30 on the dot. 7:33, but whatever. I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, I think we did good.
Marty's not here. I don't know what Marty's been playing. I'll assume it's some game from a long time ago that he's already played 5 different times. So
I think he was playing Pokemon Snap the other day.
Oh Jesus, Marty! Was he playing it on the plane? Is that why he got COVID? Like trying to catch things up there.
I don't know how those are related, but sure, why not?
We'll make them related. All right. Aside from that, tomorrow is Thursday, which means you're getting a new Semi-Ramble Medic, and then it sounds like the crew will be back to possibly do more Earth Defense Force.
Yep, it's looking like it.
Having seen Marty in meetings today, I don't think he will be ready tomorrow.
Oh no! Wishing Marty well.
Yeah. And then Friday, there'll be new dev heads. We have a special guest coming on for that again.
Nice.
Should be a fun topic. Indie developer this time. And then Saturday, we may or may not do a game night for Mecha Break, since the open beta, or the closed open something beta, will start this weekend. It's a multiplayer mech action game.
It looks really cool. We'll see if it actually is.
It was a game that I saw lots of advertising for when I was in San Francisco for GDC, and I had no idea they had that much money to spend. So, yeah. Can you stop? That's my elbow. Thank you. Next week. Next week's going to be kind of a weird week because I will be gone, Jack will be gone, Yatsu will be gone, so no play Rumble Medic next week. Yatsu will be out on vacation, and then Jesse Schwab, Jack Packard, and I will be out filming the Animal World documentary.
Yeah. Find no secrets.
Apparently, we're 1 cent away from the goal. What are you guys
seriously?
What is this?
That's funny.
Who did this? Casey,
that's
anything else plug?
Yeah, all my usual stuff on the channel. You should be able to check out. Like Nick mentioned, probably no DMC because Marty is still unwell, but we'll probably more than likely have EDF 6 again. So look forward to that. Same time as DMC, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. Friday, wedding streams are back. We did hit our 60% goal, which means you guys are getting a karaoke stream in the near future because my son has not left the state yet. So probably not this Friday because I need to get some stuff to make that work. And there's going to be a sheet that goes around probably to like the Discord, probably to my Twitter for you to throw in song suggestions. So you can like give us stuff to pull up and sing when we do the karaoke stuff. So my guess is not this Friday, but the following Friday will be the big karaoke stream. But we're still playing Stardew Valley, and my son and fiance are having a great time playing that game and like boosting their farm and like raising animals and stuff. They're absolutely addicted. And I'll probably have like a review next week for the 4K Xbox experience because I've been using I've had my fiance be a guinea pig where she's playing it on the upstairs TV using the 4K. The fire stick, the 4K fire stick, whatever they call it. So yeah, outside of that, follow the Twitter at SigmaGears9 and get all the deets. Also, yeah, the shorts series that we're doing where I'm curating, kind of just giving you shout outs to just cool indie games that are either out or soon to be out. Check out the I was gonna say Escapist, the Second Wind TikTok. Check out the Second Wind Instagram or YouTube Shorts for Second Wind, and you should see those popping up. Cool. Good stuff.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go finish up Wheel of Time Season 2 just to make you all angry, and then we'll see you. Well, It'll be probably Casey, maybe Casey and Marty next week, and some other person that's not me on the podcast. So
we'll see.
That,
Oh, did you read this last super chat?
Donated $2 to get us over that goal. I was kind of waiting for somebody to donate a penny. I don't know if you can even do that.
Yeah, you might not be able to.
you can PayPal us a penny. Please don't. I don't want that email. And yes, of course, go check out our Patreon if you aren't already. Yeah. Oh yeah, be on the lookout for new merch next week. Those plushies next week finally, and they are cool.
Yes.
See you all later.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's good stuff. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.